Welcome back. This is Module 2, accountability. We have to start here because being accountable and an accountable mind frame is the root of change. If you need to make changes, you have to be accountable. And I started here because it was completely unbeknownst to me that this was a problem out in the world. Because I grew up with it. I grew up playing sports, and it was baked into me from my family. Had a pretty decent upbringing in that regard. You're accountable for your own actions, your own words. Your own life is a result of your own choices. You're playing ball, you're driving race cars, these kind of things. That's the accountability is baked into it. It's in front of your face. You can't get around it. All right, but I had no idea that this was a problem out in the world and that people have an aversion to this. So this is where we start. So if you're one of those people that already had this baked into you, you grew up playing ball, or you had a good family values, good. Just realize you haven't been using it and use it. All right, if you're one of these people that is averse to accountability, you have to change that mindset, and you have to be aware that everything is your fault. And I don't mean it to beat you up. If you grew up in a bad environment with addiction all around you, obviously that had an effect on you. It would be stupid to say that it didn't. But going forward, we're starting here, we're starting now. You have to be accountable for your own actions. I know a lot about alcohol. I've been around it a lot. And I have yet to see it chase someone down, tackle them, and crawl down their throat. It doesn't work like that. You do it. All right, you poison yourself. So, I told you I skipped a lot of the destruction in that intro story. Part of the destruction, in a period of about 6 months, or a year maybe, I crashed 3 vehicles, drunk. I didn't crash into anybody else, but I crashed them, like full-blown crashes, airbags, all that. And I got away with all 3 of them. No legal accountability. The first one was a work truck a buddy of mine had financed. Him and I had financed at some private finance deal we're paying like every 2 weeks on a payment. We had started a little business. And it wasn't just a beater truck, but that's what we needed to make money. And we had it going pretty good. Went out to work, had a good day, went to the bar after, a few cocktails, nothing serious. And drove him home. And I was supposed to go crash at my brother's down the street a few miles away. And he's like, man, don't go back to the bar. Just go to your brother's, come back, get me in the morning, we'll do it again. I don't even remember going to the bar, don't remember leaving the bar. All I remember is it's raining. I got squarely on the highway, I crashed into the concrete K-rail, put that baby in reverse, kept going, got off the highway until she quit at a stoplight. I got out and ran to my brother's about a mile away. And the truck had got towed. The police towed the truck. So I had to show, God, this is embarrassing. I had to show up the next morning at the tow yard to try to get the truck out of impound with the guy there that we had, whose name the truck is in, that we're financing the truck from, and my buddy and my business partner, my good friend and business partner, and these people who the police brought the car there, so everybody wants to know what happened. And here I am with my face and nose all bright red and busted up from the airbag, trying to tell some story about how I got rear-ended. Okay? It's embarrassing. And that day didn't get any better from there. All right, the day was terrible. Not too long after that, another borrowed truck that wasn't mine, leaving the bar at 2:30 in the morning, crashed into someone's backyard in the neighborhood by my house, 300 yards from my home. I came around the corner out of control, ended up halfway in these people's backyard. Truck was stuck, I couldn't get out of that one. So I had to go knock on the dude's door, 2:30 in the morning, tell him, hey man, I'll fix the fence. Don't call the law. He's like, they're already on their way, asshole. So I don't blame him. So I come back around, first person I see is the neighbor. He's outside, he saw the whole thing. He asked me if I'm okay. I said, hell no, I'm not okay. Pretty fucking far from okay. Tore up drunk. Truck ain't even mine. He says, what do you want to do? So, well, the driver got out and ran that way. He said, fine. Basically, neighbor lied to the police for me. I got out of that one too. I crashed another car. Got out of that one too. And I'm explaining those stories not because I'm proud of them. They're embarrassing. I'm explaining those stories because it's a perfect example of a lack of accountability. And what we need is more accountability, because accountability equals the control. If you're in control, you're also accountable. If you're accountable, you're also in control. And the reason we're here, the reason we're having trouble with alcohol, is because we're out of control. We don't have control. So if you know accountability is like a universal truth and a key to life, if you already know that, that's baked into you, good. Realize you haven't been using it. If you have an aversion to it, if you don't like the idea that this is your fault, get your mind around it. If you can't get your mind around it, God bless you and good luck, but I'm not sure how much change you're going to be able to make in your life without being accountable. If it's not your fault, you're not likely to make change. Okay? And trust me, that Thanksgiving Day 2012 is when I decided to quit drinking. Okay, and that was a bad situation. I was by myself in a cheap hotel room with cigarette burns everywhere, dry heaving from being sick from drinking for so long, being soaked in alcohol, trying to choke down a cup of noodles on Thanksgiving Day by myself with a giant family that loves me, a whole state away because I'm hiding, because I'd rather be drunk. Okay, I've been there. That's all I'm saying is I've been there, but you have to understand that it's on you, and you got to grab it, and you got to change it the other way. Okay, so, if you got dealt a bad hand in life, nobody's here to beat you down over that or say that's your fault. Of course, it had an impact on you, and it wasn't your fault, but you have to adopt that mind frame going forward. Just for you to make change. So, a good example of that would be if I went to dinner with my lady, nice dinner, and we end up leaving, we decided to take a little shortcut through an alley to the parking lot or whatever. Seems safe, but when we get in there, there's people waiting in the dark, and they mug us. They take mama's purse, they punch me in the nose, and they run away. Okay, it's easy to blame those guys. All right? Yeah, assholes. Shouldn't be waiting in the alley to mug fine people. Take their stuff that they worked hard for. Easy to blame them, you'd be valid in doing so. Easy to blame the restaurant or hotel or security for not providing a safer environment or better lighting, valet parking. Be valid in all those. Okay, or you could say, Dean, what were you doing in that damn alley? Why didn't you have your head on a swivel? And why didn't you have your damn weapon? All right, so all those things are valid, but there's only one that makes you smarter, more dangerous, and more aware, and gives you more control. There's only one, and that's blaming yourself. The next time you'll have your head on a swivel, the next time you won't go into a dangerous situation, and if you do happen to get put in one, you'll have a weapon. Because you learned that lesson already, because you put it on yourself. All right, so that's why it's the most productive mindset to have, is to put everything on yourself. That way you're in control. This is what we need, is control. It's like speed is what we need. We don't need speed, we need control. All right, control is what we need. So, I'm going to give you some action steps. Baby steps for you to build this muscle. Okay, this muscle, like we build it like this, we build this one the same. Okay, so in order to build the accountability muscle that we all have, okay, it's a little bitty, it's atrophied. We've been out of control for too long. All right, we need to build it up. So how we're going to do that is, step one, baby step, set an alarm in the morning earlier than you are comfortable with, and get up without hitting snooze. Get up first time. Get out of that warm bed, get going. All right? And after that, 5 minutes of meditation, or If you don't like the word meditation, you're not into that, sit still with a calm mind in the quiet for 5 minutes. All right, something comes into your mind, let it go. Clear mind. All right, what we're doing is we're building this muscle. If you can't sit still for 5 minutes, what the hell can you do? All right, the answer is nothing. You can't do a damn thing. I could teach a 3-year-old to sit still for 5 minutes, and a lot of people can't do it. All right, so sit still, 5 minutes, quiet mind. It's not that big a deal, but do it every day. Just like you do that every day, you lift. All right, you're lifting for your mind. So set an alarm, an hour, a half hour prior to when you've been usually getting up to make it a little bit uncomfortable. I get up at 4 in the morning. I'm not asking you to get up at 4 in the morning. Just telling you, make it uncomfortable and do it. You're the captain of the ship. You're the ones that run shit. Set that tone right away in the morning. Okay? After you do that, whatever you do first thing, 5 minutes. Sit still for 5 minutes. Another thing, action step, it's to practice taking accountability for everything, even if it's weird. Take accountability for everything. Okay, if you order a cup of coffee and it doesn't come out right, it wasn't the person's fault, it was your fault for not communicating it properly, or they got the point and they gave you what you wanted. All right, take accountability. If you get into a conversation with somebody, doesn't go the way you want it to go, take accountability for it. The damn kids don't take out the trash like they're supposed to, don't get mad at the kids. Take it on yourself. You didn't explain it to them how important it was for them to do that. Okay? And that way you're building the muscle. Just like you're getting up and you're not making an excuse for yourself, just need 10 more minutes. No, get up. No excuses, all accountable. Sit down, quiet, 5 minutes every day. No excuses, 100% accountable. All right, take accountability for everything that happens around you. All right, somebody screws up at the office, take accountability. Don't blame them. Take it on yourself. You didn't do a good enough job being a leader. Okay. And the last thing is design your day the previous evening. Okay. When you go to bed at night, before you go to bed, design the next day. Okay, I want you to understand something that's very important to understand if you want to really level up. Understand high performance people, the Elon Musk, the on and on, whoever, Don Trump, high performance people that move the world forward, or even ones in your life, regular basic business owner millionaires, they behave very similarly to an addict. Okay, when Elon Musk is building a new factory, he sleeps on the damn factory floor. Okay, he's a billionaire. He can be wherever he wants to be. He has a jet. You can take him there, like that. But he sleeps on that damn floor because he's living, eating, breathing that engineering problem. The same way an addict living, eating, breathing, drinking that damn drug. Similar. It's dopamine in your mind, which I'm going to teach you about in the next module. I'm going to teach you about the science and what's actually going on in your mind. But you have to understand they're similar. There's a high performance person inside of you. You got it pointed in the wrong direction. Okay, you're the captain of a ship. But your ship has bigger sails than the average ship. That's why you can't have 2 damn drinks and go home. Or you put those drinks in those sails and you take off, baby. You're going in the wrong direction. Okay, but the good news is your sails are big. You just got to point them in the right direction. Okay, and those people that you're seeing moving the world forward, they are the same as you. They're the same as you. They have their sails pointed where they want them. All right, and what they do to get the sails pointed where you want them, you make a plan. All right, and the reason I brought all that up is, I imagine if you're here you're probably a couple weeks dry, at least. All right, or a little bit less, but I hope you're damn dry. Okay. When you get home at night, it's that time where you usually had a drink. You start to get that little itch, a little anxiety. You need a drink? You don't need a drink. You need a plan. Okay? Successful people get that same anxiety, they get that same itch just because they haven't planned their next day. If they're getting ready to go to bed and they haven't planned their next day, they start to get anxiety. All right, the same way you do. But it's about productivity for them. It's not about destruction. It's to make a plan. So run back over them. Set an alarm and don't make excuses. Get your ass up half hour, an hour before you usually been getting up. Get up and get after it. Right after that, sit still for 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be right after that, actually. I don't care when you do it. But sit still for 5 minutes every day. Take accountability for all the small things and design your day at the end of the day. You're getting a powerful frame of mind. You know, think of it in the best possible way. Design your day. What would the best version of you do tomorrow? Do all those things. All right, and then you'll take control of your life. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to empower you with the scientific knowledge. Is what we're going to do next in the next module. Instead of making you a victim and telling you have a disability, or that you have an incurable disease, or you were born an addict and you can't beat these things, we're going to give you the power through the knowledge. We're going to tell you what's actually happening inside of your brain so you can go forward, so you can manage that, and you can take advantage of that, not just manage it. All right, so for the next module, make sure you have your pen and pad. It's all science. It's a little bit longer, and you need to write some of this stuff down. All right? See you over there.